Good morning, everyone, and welcome to my very first activation of your ancestors. Now, today we're going to be activating the voices of your ancestors that were slaves. And when I mean activating, we're going to be basically asking them to feel their strength and their courage. We're going to be saying thank you to them for the lives they lived in a very, very difficult situation. The ones we will talk to today are the ones that lived proud lives, dignified lives. They're the ones that lived through slavery, through being enslaved and kept prisoner, basically for someone else. Through the centuries, so much slavery has occurred. I'll talk about that on another video. But today, it's the activation of the strong, powerful ones that managed to keep their families safe, them alive, and managed to make a dignified, strong family unit for themselves in the best and only way they could. So now we will begin. So grab a drink. If you haven't got a drink with you, I've got a cup of tea here. Grab some water, pause the video and come back. You're going to need about 10 minutes with me listening. I'm going to prompt you to take a sip of drink, of whatever you've got, as a way of saying thank you and acknowledging their presence. Now, through this, I'm going to be closing my eyes so I can concentrate on the words I'm saying and what I'm asking for us all to feel and to be aware of. For you, if you want to take this recording outside, go for a walk on the beach, go for a walk in the park, just somewhere quiet where you can be alone, listen, and participate by having a drink with you. I'm going to keep saying it because it's really important if you want to start connecting and freeing those ancestral generational voices. Okay, so we'll begin. I call back the ancestors through the centuries, through the years. I call back the ones that came before me as blood calls to blood. You, my ancestors that lived so long ago, I call you back the ones that were enslaved, the ones through the centuries in different places, in different countries around this world, were kept against your will to work, to do tasks, to do things you did not want to do. I call you back now the ones that made this work, the ones that created a life that you are proud of, the ones that you took pride in. You kept yourself safe. You kept your family safe as best you could. You provided for them. You cared for them. And you lived and you lived and you had sacrificed everything so they would live. You sacrificed so I would be here. Calling back the ancestors through the 18th, 19th, and 20th century that were enslaved. Calling you back here now to receive the love and blessings of all of the line that has come since you. Calling you back the ones that were proud, that were strong, that were dignified. Calling you back here now to feel your strength and for you to feel our thanks and gratitude for your sacrifices. As I say thank you to you, I take a drink and I drink to you. Reaching back further and further through the years, through the centuries, as blood calls blood, calling back the ancestors of the 15th, 16th, and 17th century, calling back the women, the men, the grandmothers, the grandfathers, the sons, the daughters, the nieces, the nephews, calling back all in my ancestral line that were enslaved, kept prisoner, bartered for money, for food. You were kept against your will and made to work. You were kept, but you were strong. You survived. You had children. You made sacrifices so they could live. Calling you back here now to receive the love and the blessings and thanks from all the line that came after you. Calling you back here now to say thank you. To say thank you and feel your love and gratitude and strength through all those centuries ago. And I say thank you, and I drink to you. Reaching back further and further through the centuries, 11th, 12th, 13th centuries, so very long ago, calling about the grandmothers, the grandfathers, the mothers, the daughters, the sons, calling you back here now, all the ones that were enslaved in my ancestral line, calling you back here now for you to receive our love, our thanks from everyone that has come since you, calling you back now to thank you for your love, your strength, your dignity, your sacrifices, calling you back here now to feel your strength, your power, your fortitude, and the way you moved dignity through your life. And me and mine say thank you, and we drink to you. Moving back further and further through the centuries, the 8th, 9th, 10th centuries, so long ago, times long forgotten, ancestors long forgotten, as blood calls blood, and calling back the ancestors that lived enslaved, captured, taken by others, forced to work, forced to live in very difficult ways. And calling back the ancestors that were proud, strong, dignified. They made a life work for them and their family, their sacrifices, their love, their strength. We want to thank you for without you, we would not be here. We would not be living without your sacrifice and strength and endurance to live. Calling you back here now to feel your strength, to hear your voices, and for us to say thank you for all the line that has come after you. We say thank you, and I drink to you. Reaching back further and further through centuries long gone, long forgotten, through ways of living that no longer exist. 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th centuries, a time long forgotten, the bones of ancestors long scattered to the winds, calling you back here now to feel the love of you and for you to feel our love. Calling you back, all the ones that suffered slavery, all the ones that suffered being kept imprisoned against your will, forced to live a life you would never have chosen. Calling back the ones that were strong, proud. They made sacrifices so they should live and so their family should live, so their children would live and endure, so their families would just move and be and exist. And so the cycle of life could keep going. We thank you for the sacrifices you made so you endured that life. We thank you for your strength, your courage, your endurance. And we want to say thank you to you. All the line that came after you, we say thank you. And I drink to you. Moving back past those centuries, moving back further and further and further. 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th centuries. So very long ago. The ancestors, the great-grandmothers, the great-great-great-grandmothers, grandfathers, sons, daughters, calling back the ones in my line that suffered from being enslaved, the ones that were captured, the ones that were forced to be in chains, the ones forced to work, the ones forced to live a life never chosen by them, taken from communities and families they loved, forced to give up ritual, tradition, and the things they loved. Calling you back here now for you to receive the love and blessings of all the line that have come after you. All of those, all of the ancestors now are saying thank you to you. And we say thank you for your strength, your dignity in living, and your endurance. And I drink to you. Reaching back now, even further and further in time, to the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd centuries. The centuries that are long forgotten, except in the history books, calling back the ancestors of mine that lived enslaved, calling back the ones that were strong, the ones that survived, the ones that made a life for themselves that they would never have chosen, the ones under the control of others, the ones that somehow made sacrifices enough to live a life that they would be proud of, that their children were proud of. Calling you back here now to receive the love and care and blessings from all of your descendants. And we, your descendants, turn towards you and say thank you. Thank you for living so we could live here now and be here now. And to say thank you, we drink to you. Calling back now through the centuries, all of the centuries that I've mentioned, all of the slaves that were in my ancestral line, all the ones that somehow made a life for themselves, their children. They somehow survived so I could survive. They somehow lived in difficulty so I could live here now. They survived by whatever means they could. They grew strong, they were proud, and they existed and lived before I lived. Calling you back here now to receive the love and blessings of all the line. And I ask all the ancestors to turn backwards and share the love and let it flow down now from me through the line, and so back it goes. As blood calls blood, I call back the love, the care, the pride in my ancestors that were slaves, that survived and were strong. And I thank you, and for the last time, I drink to all of you. Well, I don't know about you, but I felt a lot of power and strength, even through the really old centuries, even as far back as the 3rd, 4th, 5th centuries. I felt that there was a strength there, there was a power. I must have had ancestors that lived terrible, horrible lives, enslaved, but they did what they could to survive. They did what they could, which meant their strength of character, of being, was enormous. So I'm going to close this activation off now. I'm going to say thank you for joining me. Please drop comments into the Facebook group. Please tell me about your experiences. A very common experience is to have some vivid dreams at night. So thank you for joining me. My name is Carol Arcus, and I'll be doing these activations twice a week. That's twice a week. Join me for these. Thank you, and let me know what you think. Bye for now.